Nice. So, how big of an influence was your spirituality to get you on the right path? As you're saying, mushrooms helped a little bit, your spirituality did. So, so what got you out of? Because I know you're on a different path now. What got you accelerated to that next step where you're just fully committed?
Well, you first of all, it's said in, like, I'm not gonna get into AA and all that shit, but it's true. You really do need to have a higher power or something above you, God, spirituality of some sort, to really pull you in the right direction and to really break these addictions and really get on the right path and to show you that there's a better way, and give you the knowledge that you need to do it, and that you have to believe in yourself, and it's work. It's not easy, but once you get out of it, you know you did the right thing, and you feel great about it. And so I had this knowledge of that I was meant for more, that there's a better plan for me, and that what I was doing was wrong, and that I needed to change my ways. I felt inside me I was making the wrong decisions, and I could see how things were working out in my life, that I was making the wrong decisions. Because once you get on the right path and you get do what you're supposed to be doing, everything opens up. Everything becomes easier. The people that you associate with, there's more love. Everyone's nicer. Things are more fluent. Everything starts working easy, and if you're fucking up or if you're doing the right thing. Like, deep inside what's right and what's wrong. And so once you start walking the righteous path, the higher path, the hero's journey, it's the best feeling in the world. That's what we were designed to do. We were designed to be, we were spirit, we're not matter. You know what I mean? So luckily I was blessed and brought in these positions with the mushrooms, with all this spiritual knowledge, and it changed me from when earlier in my story I'm talking about all these drugs in the streets and all this shit, to where I'm at now. I'm talking about spirituality and trying to better myself. That's the most important part. That's like life right there. Is you trying to be a better version of yourself. That's very important for you to have a fulfilled, purpose-driven life.
That's deep.
Yeah.
And you honed in on something right there. You honed in where spirits were not matter. You just said that.
Correct.
What do you mean like that? Because most people think always in the physical. That oh, my lips are did it. I need to get a Botox injection. My butt, my tits, or guys with their did.
Correct.
So most of us think in the physical. So why are you saying we're spirits?
I'll break it down in a few different ways. The basic way is, if I cut your arm off, are you your arm, or are you still you? You know what I mean? If I take your legs away, are you your fucking legs? Are you still you? When you go to sleep at night, you're not in your body. You know what I mean? Your mind and your consciousness is still there, but your body is sleeping. And so,
But they both run hand in hand. I mean, you couldn't function without your head.
but are
right?
you your
Someone
finger?
cut off your head.
If I cut your finger off, are you your finger? Are you you know what I mean? Are you consciousness? So this is what I'll say. Are you a conscious being? For you to think, am I conscious? You obviously are conscious, because you thought, am I conscious? I think, therefore I am. So now we've established that you're a conscious being, right? And now, so we got to figure out where did consciousness come from. Now, consciousness is irreducible. You can't put it in a bottle. It's not materialistic. They don't know. They can't duplicate it. It's spiritual in a sense. So where did it come from? Consciousness had to come from somewhere. It's not just chemicals don't love. Chemicals don't have feelings, but you have feelings. You have an ability to love. You have an ability to make right and wrong decisions. This is your consciousness. So consciousness had to come from a source. It just wasn't there. So we could get into the Big Bang Theory. We could get into everything came from a seed. Everything came from one point. And whatever you want to call that, one source, I call it God, I call it Krishna, but consciousness has a source. And so that's what makes you a spiritual being.
I would agree, but you just honed in. What you just said just made me think of something kind of interesting. What's going on right now with the whole what's it called, the metaverse, and then Elon Musk with the Neuralink thing, and then the Matrix. So like, it's almost like they're devising all these, even social media,
Correct.
all these different avenues to trap your conscious.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Because you could look at it like they want your conscious in this fake reality, so your conscious is trapped in this metaverse and it's not existing in this other realm where it needs to exist. Almost like a vegetable state. You know how when someone's put on life support and they're vegetable, it's where's the conscious? The conscious is still existing somewhere.
Yes, but the body is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they want to control your consciousness. They want to manipulate you for their purpose. It's just like having slaves. You won't rebel if your mind is where they want it, and they can make their moves. You know what I mean? If they could predict what you're gonna do, then they're able to withhold their power and keep their position, because they're materialists that do not care about anything we're talking about. They want to be God, but they can't be God. You can't hold up. You're not creating the sun, bro. You're not holding up the stars and the moon. You're not creating love and any of these things that would be spiritual in essence. And so you could try all you want with your weak-ass AI that can't even talk right. A 5-year-old could talk better than any of those fucking stupid robots. You can confuse these chat programs easily by asking them certain questions. They got all fucked up. And they'll never be able to achieve any of this. And we could go into like Atlantis and how civilizations are destroyed when they get to a certain point where they try to become God, and you know, God has to come back and check them.
You just honed in on another good topic. They want to be God. And it's
Right.
almost like that is godlike to have control over someone's consciousness. Not have control. They don't necessarily have control over your consciousness by having you. It's almost like the television. When you're under the television's control, you know, there's numerous studies
For sure.
where it's making you stupider. You're losing your ability to think. You're falling asleep. Literally, they've done studies with your brainwaves. So
Right.
it's almost like they're hijacking your consciousness, having you in this metaverse or this Neuralink, hijacking it
Correct.
and disabling it.
Totally. So
It's almost like handicapping the spirit,
it is definitely
holding it captivated.
It is handicapping the spirit. You will have these realizations when you take hallucinogenics. You know, we're natural beings that shouldn't be living like this in these fucking matrices. Now I'll touch on another thing.
But some people could touch on this without doing
Yeah,
hallucinogenics.
so
They're just that smart and tuned.
Of course, but these plant medicines will tell you this, but I'm going to drop another little gem on you, is that I believe consciousness came from one source. We'll call it God, or whatever you want to call it, the universe, if you want to call it the universe, if you have some kind of weird thing against religion. I'm not talking about a white man in the fucking sky. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a single point of the creator of everything, okay? And so I believe it's an all-powerful and loving creator that would create the best possible world in the best possible situation. And for that to happen, there has to be free will. And for any kind of love to exist, there has to be free will, because love isn't something that you could steal. Love has to be given. It has to be earned. It has to be wanted. So Creator created this universe, this materialistic plane that we live in, where we all have free will. So we're always learning. So we have the free will to love God, learn about God, and have a personal relationship with the universe and God. Or you could turn away from God and try to be like God, and you know, and there's the whole balance of negative and positive forces. And so, in my opinion, this is the best possible situation. We could go into why is there evil and why is there all this bad shit that's happened, but we have free will because we were given free will as a gift, which, in my opinion, is proof that there is God and we are spirits. And so, do you want to be a robot that was just like made perfect? You know what I mean? You're just, oh, here, you're perfect. You know, what are you going to do for eternity, bro? You know, I feel like we're spirit. We last forever. The material body will be destroyed, but our consciousness is not material. It's something else. And if you study this stuff, either through the plant medicines or through spiritual practices, and you do it in a scientific way, you will see that consciousness is not materialistic and it lasts forever. And so, having said that, free will, the ability to love and learn, that is the best possible world that a creator would create that's all powerful and all loving, if that makes sense.
No, it makes a lot of sense. It's a very good conversation. So, your next phase, you're dealing with this, right? This mushroom thing, right?
Yes. So
what comes out of the spirituality,
Uh,
you're gaining headway in
I'm now evolving on all planes. I'm doing microdoses now. I'm learning about microdosing, which is helping me expand my consciousness. I'm studying spirituality, many different cultures. I'm traveling the world. I'm going to India. I'm going to these ancient temples. I'm traveling all over the place, studying spirituality. I'm studying consciousness. I'm taking the mushrooms, and I'm growing, and I'm working 12-hour days, 7 days a week, 100% dedicated to this craft. I've cried, I've bled, I've laughed, I've shed tears, I've felt all the emotions that someone would feel being a human being through this, me growing these things. And I'm just getting better. And it's like, I say I have a black belt in Feng Fu. You know what I mean? It takes 10 years to become a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu. I've been at this shit for 10 years, 12 hours a day. They say you got to put in 10,000 hours to be an expert at something. And I feel like I have a black belt in Feng Fu. So I put in so much work, and I never gave up. And there was times where everything got fucked up. Molds wrecked my whole shit. Bad partnerships, all sorts of trials and tribulations, but I stuck through it, and I love it, and it's what I do, and it's as you can tell, it changed my life and made me spiritual, gave me knowledge. I ended up, and I study all sorts of subjects, financial literacy, business, health, spirituality, all these things that make us humans. You become a philosopher fucking with this shit, bro, And so I've continued my mushroom career. I have a lot of friends all over the world I've seen people tell me how much my mushrooms have helped them. War veterans, people with anxiety, that are obese, trauma, addiction, people like in fucking Iran, you know what I mean, that are just in a crazy ass country, war-torn countries, and they hope that mushrooms could change people. People have hope for these things, that they could change the world. That's what a lot of people want them to do. Can they do it? They could change the world. Can they change people's consciousness? They can. But the mushroom industry is also becoming very materialistic, just like the cannabis industry, where people are just trying to make a buck. And so there's all these companies that are putting synthetic psilocybin in their products and passing them off as natural mushrooms, which takes the spirituality out of it because it's synthetic, so it's just a chemical, and also it's dangerous. It can cause seizures. It makes you feel shitty the next day, and they're passing it off as mushrooms and just fucking everything up. These people are getting greedy. People are just coming in to make a buck, and they're, it's really fucking up the game for us true mycologists that really want to help heal people, in a therapeutic way and give people a natural medicine that's been here 60,000 years. Human beings have been ingesting these things, and having spiritual experiences. And so that kind of pisses me off, but it is what it is. It was gonna happen.
What up? What up? So I've never heard of this. So maybe someone else has it. So you're talking about synthetic mushrooms,
Yes. So the
mycelium?
main compound, there's many alkaloids in the mushrooms that give you the experience, but the main one that everybody knows is psilocybin. And so they're able to replicate it in a lab, and make a synthetic version of it, or something that gives you a similar experience that's not even synthetic psilocybin, but makes you feel similar to it, and you could pass off as psilocybin. It's cheaper to produce. You don't have to grow it, and they're putting it in their products and fucking people up, dude. You know what I mean? And their products eventually are gonna go to shit, and their companies are all gonna fall off.
So
And people are already complaining about this shit.
so
So if
I
you're using synthetics, OG mycologists know what's up, bro. You know what I mean? That shit ain't shit, bro. You fools are weak sauce.
so I've never heard of this. So how is this taking place? You're saying there's people getting seizures. There's
Yeah, dude, it
what?
could cause violent stomach issues. It could cause seizures, brain damage. I mean, you don't know what these people are making this shit in the lab. It could be, eventually as dangerous as fucking fentanyl or some shit. It's a chemical. It's not the true mushroom that's grown in nature that's already perfect, that God created. It's perfect in every aspect of it. So just like we were just talking about, people wanting to be God and be materialistic and just get rich real quick, they're making synthetic versions of it, and they're putting it in products such as chocolate bars and passing them off as psilocybin mushroom chocolate bars when really they're synthetic
Oh,
chemical
so this
mushroom
is
bars. Yeah.
oh, so you're saying people are putting this in chocolate bars
Yeah, I'm selling them as
and
psilocybin.
passing it as mushroom
Yeah,
chocolate bars.
exactly. So that's an issue. Also, there's a lot of companies now that will do all the work for you and give you everything you need to grow the mushrooms already prepped. And so you just take the ingredients, a few ingredients, throw them in a container and grow the mushrooms. And people think that they're mycologists by doing that, but you don't really get any respect from a real mycologist. People that really respect the method, respect the mushroom, and really do this shit and have really pioneered it. And so yeah, you grew some mushrooms, but you're not a mycologist. You got to know genetics, you got to know cultures, you got to be able to make substrate, make grains. And now people are creating new crossbreeds of new mushrooms where they learn how to crossbreed mushroom strains or species that are already around, and they're crossbreeding them and creating new ones, which is dope as fuck, and I love that shit. And shout out to all my real mycologists out there that are pushing this thing forward and creating new beautiful things. It's fucking dope. You know what I mean? So when I first started, there was a handful of species. Most of them were found in the wild. Probably 99% of them were found in the wild, and they were made domesticated so you could grow them indoors. And now there's a whole lot of them, new ones that have been made and created by mycologists that are were always grown indoors, and it's pretty dope, potency. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. So there's one called Enigma or Tattoo. I have a tattoo. We'll put the picture up. It's one of my favorite ones. There's an alkaloid in it. I forgot the name of it. It starts with a B, but this alkaloid usually gives you a lot of it makes you paranoid and gives you anxiety. And so there's certain strains like penis junkies where people take them and they feel a lot of anxiety because it's high in this alkaloid, which is similar to niacin. If you take a niacin and workout supplements, it like gets your blood pumping and it kind of gets you amped up. And so this Enigma or this tattoo has very low levels of it. So that's like my favorite one right now that I'm taking, microdosing. And it's just blissful, low anxiety. It just makes me feel fucking wonderful, dude. So those are the ones that I'm microdosing with. And this is all coming out. This is all new stuff that people are starting to test the mushrooms now because it's becoming more legal and the people are able to experiment with this shit more. They're finding out exactly what's in it and which ones have which levels of what and what you could customize this shit for people's needs. So if someone has high anxiety in life, you can give them a mushroom that takes anxiety away. That's low in certain alkaloids.
So what's your view? Because this is happening just like cannabis. Same steps are going into mushrooms that happen in cannabis legalization.
Correct.
First, the medicinal use. It's legal for medicinal use in these certain cities, which is Oakland, Santa Cruz. What's your view on?
It's similar. Now, certain people want that to happen, but what they're really pushing for and what's happening now in these cities is they're opening up clinics, which is good in a sense, where you could receive therapy in psilocybin therapy, where they'll give you a dose of psilocybin and you'll sit down with a therapist and they will guide you through your trip and they'll work all the shit out that you have to work out with an actual therapist, but you will be using the psilocybin during the therapy session, which has huge results as far as success for the therapy. For alcohol addiction, that's a big one that they've already proven works. And like I said, the way that works is these neurological transmitters form in your brain. So if you form a habit, it's in your brain. The electricity starts moving from point A to point B, and so this is established. I want to drink, I want to drink, I want to drink. And what the mushroom does at like one time of taking it is it breaks that fucking thing out and builds a new one, a new pathway where you don't want to drink anymore. You know what I mean? You could break all sorts of addictions, sexual addictions, drug addictions, food addictions. I've done it myself, many times. This shit fucking works, dude. It's great for breaking addictions and starting new pathways in your mind, new ways of thinking. That shit's wonderful. Trauma. You have a lot of trauma. I had the trauma with my mom dying and my whole past and all that shit. I was able to get through that through psilocybin use, through actual therapy, through my yoga classes and all the philosophy and shit like that. Through that, I was able to get through the trauma. I'm very content with myself, my life, all the shit that's happened to me. It's it doesn't bother me anymore. It used to eat me up inside. I used to feel the most pain, and now I was able to heal. You're able to heal past traumas. That's big for that. So they're opening up these psilocybin clinics. Now, they're going to charge an arm and a leg. They're gonna charge your insurance, I don't know, $5 fucking grand or some shit like that. Is it a ripoff? Is it probably not worth it? You know what I mean? For some people, you can go buy an eighth and do it yourself. But some people definitely need a therapist. Therapy is good, and they should go to those clinics. You know what I mean? So it's good and it's bad. Are they charging too much? Probably. Will it help you? Yes, it fucking will. So some people that have financial problems might not be able to afford it. That's fucked up. But in the sense, if you were able to get psilocybin therapy from an actual place, from an actual therapist, shit would work. And I totally believe in the fucking results of it.
Yeah, but you don't see this as a ploy to basically take back the money and therapy and relinquish it back to the state and the corporation and the medical conglomerates and put it in their hands? Because right now there's shamans or healers or you could say alternative remedy therapists or practitioners that work through the underground, you could say, that are doing these things. So if that happens and these people become licensed under the state and under these insurance companies, won't it take some bread out of these people by saying these people are certified and they're more adept and in tune and certified to deal with these problems than this person, even though this person's been doing it for maybe 10 plus fucking years, you could say?
Yes.
Isn't it just hijacking of of a culture and a therapy.
It is, and that's fucked up. Now we'll get into shamanism being an ancient form of healing and natural medicine, and they've been doing this shit for a long time. And yes, that's the natural way of how it was originally done. Now you got the pharmaceutical companies bugging out because it's going to take money out of their pockets, so they want to get in where they fit in and try to get a piece of the pie, right? And start creating synthetic psilocybin because they're going to give that shit in these clinics, bro. That's a whole fucking thing, right? So they're fucking trying to get their little paws in there. Then you got the therapy places now have a new avenue to get money, right? So they're going to jump on that shit, and then you also got the fucking, what pisses me off is I've argued with people about this. They're like, oh, well, if a doctor says you could take psilocybin and go through therapy, well, then it must be okay. Well, I'm like, well, the doctors have been indoctrinated by the fucking medical industry that's ran by the pharmaceutical companies. Why do I need a fucking doctor to approve me? And now it's okay, but if a fucking 10-year veteran mycologist like myself, who's actually experienced the benefits of it, has the medicine, knows it extremely well, and gives it to you, and you take it in a responsible manner, it's not okay, fuck you. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a catch-22. Like, it's a rip-off for sure. They're going to charge a bunch of money. A bunch of people are going to try to get in, but is it good in general for the fucking, some people need access to it like that. It's a tricky situation. Like, yeah, most of it's bad. It's negative. Medical industry's fucked up. Doctors, pharmaceutical companies, therapy people. But at the same time, there is people that do care and do want to help, and they probably, there will be some places that are, they do, some people have good intentions. So it's just like anything in life where there's good and there's bad. Is it bad for people that are growing that want to make money? Maybe. Is it good because it's promoting it and now more people want to do it and they're not scared of it because now they have the knowledge that it's therapeutic and it's not just, oh, take some mushrooms and trip out like a hippie? That's good too, because a lot of people before just thought it was a drug, you know what I mean? And now they're seeing that it's so beneficial, and way more people, because of people promoting it like this, are willing to take it and experience the experience, So it has its cons and it has its pros, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just speaking on an example that I saw happen with marijuana, and it basically took out all the small players.
For sure.
And I think it had a lot of people, the consumer thinks it's a positive impact, but
Right.
from what I saw what happened with it, I think it's a negative impact. I mean, it's
Agreed.
in a free market state, supposedly you should be able to sell it, grow it.
Correct.
You shouldn't have these stringent cherry pick license of who can
Correct.
sell it and who could. I mean, it was legalized, right? So why do you have all these stipulations?
So let me
it?
touch
You know
on
what I
that
mean?
real quick. Jack Hara wrote a book called The Emperor Wears No Clothes. He was one of the first people to push for legalization of marijuana. And the last thing he said before he died was, it's not legal if we have to pay taxes on it. And all these people have been put in jail and lives have been ruined and families have been ruined. And now we have to pay taxes on it? Fuck that. We ain't paying no taxes on it. It's a plant, we could grow it ourselves. We don't need you fools to fucking get involved with the shit. And you fools, I mean the government, you know what I mean? And so that's what I said earlier. It used to be a spiritual thing where, a hippie would grow some good weed with good intentions. Just like your grandma cooking you food. And now these people have materialized a spiritual, a spiritual organism and just pimped it out for profit. And so you have these dickheads that are billionaires that set up these giant greenhouses. I'm not going to say the name of the company. They're fucking ex-cops, you know what I mean? And they just fucking destroyed the cannabis market. And for little people that literally, like small guys that wanted to grow some weed and support their fucking families and do something good and try to help people, it's almost impossible for them to do it and make a living off of it now because of these corporations and all these fucking big investors.
So
It ruined. It took out what it used to be. It used to be a beautiful thing. It used to be something for the people, and it's been taken away from the people. And they still will raid you. They say it's legal, but if you're not paying taxes or have a license, they'll come in your fucking place, take all your shit, knock your fucking door down, shoot your dog, and they'll fucking put you through hell, dude. So is it legal? Fuck no, it's not legal.
yeah, so knowing all this, why should the same steps be repeated with mushrooms?
They shouldn't be repeated with mushrooms, and
It's just gonna be
it probably will go that way, and I pray to God that it doesn't. And there's certain groups of people that are trying to educate people to vote differently, but these people have fucking scams and tactics where they trick the voters into voting for a law, and they don't read the fine print, and it ends up fucking people that really care about the mushroom and what's going on. But the way it's going is it's legal for therapeutic sessions in certain areas. Will it be like cannabis where it's sold in stores? Probably. We'll see what the future holds, but that's not how it is right now. You hear President Biden talking about this shit, and you hear, all these people talking about it. They're definitely making plans and plays to get paid off of this. And they definitely don't care about mental health, because if they did, you look at the streets, bro, you know what I'm saying? You look at all this shit. I'm not going to get into politics and all the bullshit that's happening nowadays. All these fucking, it's a war on your consciousness. We were talking about consciousness earlier. There's a straight war on consciousness right now. They're trying to fuck everybody up for future generations by telling you all these fucking dumb lies. And trying to change what human beings have been for fucking millions of years, They're not going to be able to do it. Nature will always come back. That's why there's a resistance happening, and it's definitely getting stronger, But, yeah, that's the war. That's the battle, you know what I mean? There's always a battle between spirit and matter, good and evil, dark and light. Fucking, that's what we live in. That's the reality of the universe that we live in. It's a war, it's a battle. They call it spore wars with the mushrooms, it's a war, bro. And I got my boots strapped on, and I'm ready for fucking action, dude. And I ain't going out like no punk, bro, And I've bled for this shit, and I believe it with all my heart, what it could do, what it does, and it's powerful. And don't underestimate it, that it won't change reality for the better, and that it won't be taken hostage so easily. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Wow, that's an amazing story of transformation.
Yes.
Do you have anything else you want to
I would like to give a couple of shout outs. I would like to give a shout out to my original partners that invested in my education and believed in what I believed in. I love you guys. King Midas, my boy Jose. You guys fucking, definitely helped me achieve my education and my goals. Shout out to my fellow mycologist homies. There's a lot of them, but I'm just going to give a couple shout outs to my boy Ape Kong. What's up, big dog? My boy Michael Tron. My boy Big Tron. My homie DJ Michael. And I love you fools. And also, give a warning for the medicine. If you're planning on taking the medicine, it's very powerful, and it needs to be taken in the right context. You have to make sure you're in the right state of mind. You have to make sure you're in the right environment. And I would say, do it slowly. Take small amounts at first and build up to it. Like in shamanism, they've been using these plant medicines for hundreds and thousands of years. They're familiar with the territory. It's like riding a bike or playing basketball. At first you suck at it, and then you get good at it. Anything in life, fucking jiu-jitsu, whatever. Start slow and build your way into it, and you will have beautiful experiences. Do your knowledge, do your research. Much love. Funguys LA. Funguys LA. Instagram. Come check me out. And catch you guys on the flip side.
Yeah, we have it. We out.